Hello, I am Melon the Goblin, and I'm going to be showing you how you can, not modify, but configure Reshade if you play The Sims 4 on Linux. Now, a few disclaimers before I start the tutorial. In order for Reshade to work on Linux for The Sims 4, you will have to run the game of DirectX 9. I apologize. I have tried to get the game to work with Reshade with DirectX 11, and it just was not working, and I have run out of ideas of what to do. So, I had switched my game to DirectX 9 in the middle of troubleshooting like 2 months ago, and it just magically worked. So, if you plan to play The Sims 4 on Linux and you want to use Reshade, you will have to use DirectX 9. I deeply apologize for that. But I see no difference between DirectX 9 and DirectX 11. They claim that DirectX 11 is supposed to have better performance, but The Sims 4 has always been a broken game, and it will continue to be a broken game. Excuse, my phone just went off. I forgot to turn its notifications off. Anyway, so what you'll need, here's a few resources. I also have a little documentation page that I made for myself so that I remembered what steps to do because I was relearning how to do this before I started recording. But I will link this in the description. This GitHub by Kevin the Killer. I don't know. I do not remember if I used these commands in console. I don't think I did, but I did download the reshade linux.sh file, and you will also need the reshade linux. Shoot, what the heck am I talking about? You will need the reshade exe file because we're going to be using Lutris. Now, if you don't know what Lutris is, basically it allows you to, like, I guess, emulate exes on Linux. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I cannot speak I cannot speak to save my life. So please excuse me if I fumble my words. Anyway, so you'll want to go to this little gear icon here in Sims 4 on Steam. Also, I highly recommend that you play The Sims 4 on Steam if you are on Linux. I've tried to set it up with EA app, but it was such a horrible experience. I just like, you know what, no. And with Steam, stuff just works. So anyway, go to manage and browse local files, and you'll want to find your game folder and then your bin folder. Now this will be important for many reasons. I've already done the task of saving this file path to my places, which I think you could do by right clicking, and it's one of these. But I think it's not showing up for me because I already, yeah, okay, I already have the path saved to my places, so the button's not showing up. But just right click and you'll see it. I went to a different folder here, but you won't need this folder. Don't worry about that folder. That's not important. Anyway, keep this open because this will be very necessary. You will also need this exe right here. You can right click, go to properties. I'm going to full screen this, and I'm going to copy this path right here. This will be very important. Yours may be different if you have a different username. My Linux username is Melon, of course, so that's what mine will say. Anyway, I think we can close out of that now. The first step, what did I say to do first? Okay, I'm going to use Lutris, however you want to pronounce it. Open up Lutris. I have this here, but I had just uninstalled Reshade so I can make sure this process works as intended. So I'm going to remove this. Now this may be a little bit scary, but don't worry, it's not that difficult. Go to this plus icon up here in the top left corner of the app, and you want to install. Did my mouse just glitch? Batteries must be dying. You want to install a Windows game from executable. The game name, you can just name this as something you remember, and just click install. You can skip this, continue, and select the setup file. And you want to use the reshade_setup exe file, and then click install, and then just wait for it to do its thing. Yeah, my mouse is glitching. I might need to change the battery, but I don't have any batteries on me right now, so bear with me. I'm talking to the mouse and telling the mouse to bear with me. But now that Reshade has opened up, the path that I mentioned earlier, you want to go ahead and, oh my gosh, my mouse is like actually glitching. Please excuse my brother if you hear him. But paste the path into this area, into the search bar. Type / You may have to Please excuse my mouse. It's like really distracting me because like the battery is dying and it's starting to like glitch. It's like controller stick drift, but mouse edition. Anyway, sorry, ADHD. I get off track easily. So you'll have your home user.steam, Debian installation, Steam apps, comments, the Sims 4 game bin, ts4 underscore x64.exe, and then click next. And you'll want to select DirectX 9. Click next. Now these effects, you can go through them and select whichever effects you please. I am going now. This won't matter, honestly. I don't think this part will matter, but I do it just in case, and you'll see why later on in the video. But I like to download the legacy effects. Not too sure about some of the depth of field stuff, but some of the bloom effects are nice. What else is there? Oh, Marty McFly mods. I like those. Those are really nice. There's another Marty McFly mod section somewhere. Oh, yep, the Quint stuff, Immerse by Marty McFly. Please excuse my mouse. If I turn it off and turn it back on, which is like the number one solution to fixing things and when it comes to technology, it's gonna like turn off and I'm gonna have to go and get a battery and come back upstairs. It's gonna be annoying and I might forget what I'm doing. So while I'm in the mood, anyways, I'm just gonna keep scrolling down. You can also use a preset INI file to install its effects, which you can easily find by just searching up Sims 4 Reshade presets. But I'm not going to for the sake of this tutorial. Just wait for everything to install, which it shouldn't take long. It's taking a little bit of time. Oh, there it goes. Finish. Now that is all done. And anytime that you want to, when Reshade has a new version that comes out, you will want to just remove this. And I'm not gonna remove it right now though, but you will want to remove this and like redo that process again. It's gonna be annoying, but it is what it is. Now I'm gonna boot up The Sims 4 just to sorry. I'm gonna boot up The Sims 4 just to be on the safe side that it worked properly. This may take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna pause the recording. All right, the game is up, and it'll say Reshade is now installed successfully, and you'll, of course, the default button is the home button. If depending on your keyboard, you may have to use your FN key and then click home, because my home button's on my O key, because I forgot what my keyboard is called, like what type it is. It's a 10 keyless or something, I don't know. But as you can see here, some of these effects did not compile properly, and that's okay. You will get that error, but I will show you how to resolve that. So now that we know that The Sims 4, I think the game is like over my voice. But anyway, depending on your keyboard, use FN and home to be able to access the settings. And some of these will say that they failed to compile, but it won't matter because I'll show you how to fix that. But I'm just making sure that this worked, which it should, because I did this process myself before I recorded the video. But let's exit the game now. And now that reshade linux.sh file is going to come in handy. My mouse keeps skipping like it's playing hopscotch and it needs to stop. Anyway, sorry. Let's wait for the game to stop. Now, this folder here, this Reshade shaders folder, we will delete this later, but just not right now. Now, I'm going to go back to downloads, and I'm going to right-click the reshade linux.sh file and run in console. And it's going to ask you, do you want to install or uninstall Reshade for a DirectX or OpenGL game? Type I for install. Supply the folder path where the main executable exe file for the game is, and we're going to paste that same path that we had earlier. On this, just to be on the safe side, I do include the ts4 underscore x64.exe after it, just to be on the safe side, but it'll just give you the root folder. But anyway, it'll say, is this path correct? Y for yes. Do you want this path to attempt to automatically detect the right DLL files to use for Reshade? Yes. So you want to say yes for pretty much the rest of this stuff. That we detected the game is 64 bits. Yes. And it'll ask you if it wants to replace the default Reshade INI file, and I just say yes. Now this part here, I ignore this part. It says if you're using Steam, right-click the game, click Properties, and select the launch options. Sorry. Set the launch options to wine DLL overrides equals whatever that says. Now I don't do that, and the game works pretty fine. I actually put in where it says properties. I actually had put in the advanced launch options, and it actually caused my game to start crashing. So I would recommend that you maybe don't do that part. Anyway, so now we're going to boot up the game again just to make sure everything's where it needs to be. And then comes the next step. Sorry, I was blowing my nose. And I got distracted. Anyway. So, that error that you saw is now gone. And we do have some shaders here. Now, I specifically am looking for certain shaders like Technicolor and Vibrance. And when I search them, Vibrance, they don't pop up. There is a way to fix that. And it requires going to these settings. So leave the game open, and we're going to go back to the bin folder. Now this folder here, where the Lutris install, where it came from the Lutris install, this is like useless to me, so I moved this to trash and delete it. What you really need is right here. I'm gonna just say it straight up. I do not understand what the FXH files are supposed to do. Like I'm sure it's like a compatibility thing, but I would leave these alone, like the inside of the folders alone for the time being. Now, if there's some things here that you don't want, you can delete those folders and it will be fine. Like in the game, oh yeah, there's the path where all the other stuff is. But those prod 80 shaders, I do not care for those, so I'm going to remove that folder from this from here, and I'm gonna reload, and boom, they're gone. Now, open your settings. This is what I did because I was looking for. Let me check my Google Doc real quickly. Yeah, add specific shader paths if they are missing. So this is what I did. Right here under settings where it says effect search paths. I have a bit of a speech impediment, I'm sorry. I want to click this plus button. Go to the Reshade shaders folder. This is the one from the SH install. And I think I went here to Sweet Effect Shaders and I clicked Shaders and Sweet Effects. Select, go home, reload, and they should be there. Let me just check Technicolor. Yep, there they are. Yep, vibrant. Oh, I said vibrance. There's the vibrance that I was looking for. So what you want to do, add another path, Reshade shaders. See, where there's a problem, I think there's like duplicate locations, but like I guess it has like some of the effect files from like a normal Windows Reshade install, and it just has some other stuff to make it compatible with Linux. But anyway, this is just what I do and it works. I do not know how to explain the technicalities for this type of stuff. I just know what troubleshooting methods I did that worked, but I would, let me see, I'm gonna go to Marty shaders. I don't know if anything's in there, but I'm gonna definitely check. Reload. Oh, okay. So now there's duplicates. So that, whatever I just did there, let me see. Let me just make sure this is the right. Yeah, just don't mess with that. But I added the specific path for the Sweet Effect shaders because I was missing Vibrance and Technicolor. But other than that, I hope those instructions made sense. But other than that, you're done. Let me close this out. And I can quickly test it out for you in game or in Create a Sim. I am just going to turn off the audio altogether because it's kind of annoying. Actually, no, I'll have it on because it's nice to have some background noise so you're just not hearing my voice. But I am going to... Where's my button? Home. Oh, shoot. I gotta reload because it was still showing duplicates. Where's the vibrance? I can't find it. I have to, like, search for or something. I'll keep all the active stuff to... Oh, it was really right there in my face. But yeah, you can modify these as you please. There are plenty of tutorials for Linux, or shoot, there are plenty of tutorials for Reshade for The Sims 4 on YouTube and stuff, so I shouldn't have to, like, you know, explain to you how it works, but I could make a separate video discussing that. One thing I will also mention, for some reason, sometimes MXAO does, like, not want to work properly. Like, it'll be too dark in game, or it just won't be dark enough at all, and the shadows won't work. And I'm still, like, I'm not even sure if the ambient occlusion is doing anything. But I had a different solution for how to fix that, and there are solutions on YouTube from other YouTubers on how to fix that. But other than that, the process is pretty much done. That is how you that is how you configure Reshade for The Sims 4 on Linux. If this video was helpful for Jesus Christ, 16 minutes. I am so sorry. I didn't mean for this to be that long. But if this video was helpful to you, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe and share this with people so that they can know how to do it too. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.